Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Friday. Juma Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Congratulations to Professor Ransford Yao Jampo. Yesterday, the University Teachers Association of Ghana, Legon, held an election. He won by an overwhelming 93.3%. Can we see Professor Jampo's photo on the TV, please? And he says that going forward, he will not hate to fight, but and all of that. Professor Ransford Jampo, congratulations to you. He's been a regular on our shows, on 3FM, on TV3, and all of that. So, Professor Ransford Jampo, thank you. Now, yesterday, I also mentioned to you how we have a situation where our Committee of Chiefs of Staffs are meeting in the Republic of Ghana. The meeting went on yesterday, went on today. The understanding we have is that the decision has already been reached to go into Niger. What meeting is here is the protocols and the pledges that people can make and how they're going to get into Niger and all of that. At that particular meeting, the Minister for Defense, the Honorable Dominic Nitiwo, he spoke with the Chiefs of Defense Staff. The Minister for Defense, Dominic Nitiwo, he spoke to the Chiefs of Defense Staff and he was asking them to stay true and loyal to the presidents and the governments that they work for. Listen to him.
If presidential guards in Guinea and Niger take hostage their president, nobody in West Africa is safe. That is why I urge you to continue to be loyal to your heads of states.
Johnny's Bite.
I urge you to continue to be loyal to ECOWAS directives and give effect that the days that coup d'etats enjoy the support of our people are over.
That was a Minister for Defense, Dominic Nitiwo, because he was the landlord, so he had to speak. And in speaking, he asked that the military men stay true and loyal to democratically elected governments. I wish that he would have added that democratically elected governments should also stay true to the people. I also wish that he had done that. Because you see, all of what we are doing and we're using a Nigerian cover-up, if you like, that we want to go and ensure that there's democracy and discipline and decency and decorum in Niger. But have African leaders demonstrated the same thing? He's asking the military people to be loyal because he may not be too sure which other chief of defense staff may be harboring ideas of a coup d'etat or a takeover in his head while they were in that meeting. So he was telling the people to be to have fidelity and also to be loyal. Will he be able to stand before the presidents of West Africa to tell them also to be loyal to the people? Because most of the presidents and the governments have not been loyal to the people. Promise and fail. In Ghana, we have been told about gold for oil. That we're going to trade our gold, add some money to it, and that we'll go and buy cheaper fuel, which will make fuel cheaper at the pumps. Diesel is expensive. Petrol is expensive. LPG is expensive. Even kerosene for the poor is expensive. So, do we still have the gold for oil policy running? And if we have the gold for oil policy running, why is our fuel still going up and up and up? I'm talking about a liter of fuel selling beyond 13 cedis. Kerosene, even for the poorest of the poor, is up. It's actually even much more expensive per liter, more expensive than petrol and diesel, kerosene. So I wish that the Minister for Defense would have also told our democratically elected government that they have to be loyal to the people. Take, for example, in Ghana. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo promised us, and I want you to do a simple thing for me while this stream is on, both on 3FM 927 on Facebook and on TV3 Ghana on Facebook. I want to do a simple thing. We want to do an analysis of what the One District, One Factory initiative, which was a flagship promise of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, how it has fared. So under this stream, kindly tell me your district and tell me whether you have a factory there or not. If you have a district and there's a factory, you put your district, say Garu Timpani, and then there you say, oh, we have a chocolate factory, Garu Timpani. Then tell me, oh, Adaklu, we have a ceramic factory. So put your district there and tell me the factory that the government has been able to put there under this stream. Tell me your district, tell me the factory. That's all I'm wanting. If there's no factory, tell me your district and tell me there's no factory. And if anybody else knows that, oh, this district, for example, has a factory, you are free to correct the person. No insults. Just tell me your district and your factory. Now, Nana Addo promised one district, one factory. What are the objectives of the one district, one factory? Let's see the objectives. It's there. It's the clippings of the objectives of the one district, one factory. The objectives of the one district, one factory initiative seeks to achieve the following. 1, add value to the natural resources of each district, right? Add value to the natural resources of each district and exploit the economic potential of each district based on a comparative. Can we see it? Please roll it up for me so that we can see it. I want to see this clearly. Add value to natural resources of each district and exploit the economic potential of each district based on its comparative advantage. Ensure even and special spread of industries that will stimulate economic activity in different parts of the country. Create massive employment, particularly for the youth in rural and peri-urban communities, and thereby improve income levels and standards of living, as well as reduce rural-urban migration. And then there's a last one. Promote exports and increase foreign exchange earnings. Enhance the production of local substitute for imported goods, thereby conserving scarce foreign exchange. Beautiful. Clap for Nana Addo. And another one. Beautiful initiative. Now today, there's no, we have gone beyond rural-urban migration or rural and peri-urban migration. This morning, I challenge you, go to the US Embassy. Go to the Canadian Embassy. Go to an embassy of your choice, where their GDP is good, where their inflation is good, where people are assured that they can have jobs. People stand in the sun and in the rain. I'm sure if we were snowing in Ghana, people would stand in it to run away because they say the factories and the jobs are not there. So this morning, your task is simple. Under this stream, tell me your district and the factory. Your district and the factory. Your district and the factory. Now, Nana Addo made the promise, and he said that we're going to create jobs and all of that. Take me to Ningo Pram Pram. The president went to Ningo Pram Pram in 2016, September 2016, 23rd or 29th. I've forgotten the exact, but it was in September 2016. It was in a blue shirt. He went to Ningo Pram Pram and promised them factories, right? He said they were going to have a vegetable factory. We're going to have a fruit factory and all of that. He told the people of Ningo and Pram Pram that they were going to have the factories. So the people in Ningo and Pram Pram, you have to tell me now, at the launch of that, if the president has been able to deliver. It's a news desk report. So he told them, Ningo and Pram Pram. But there's also a video of former Deputy Minister for Roads, former Member of Parliament, Anthony Abeifa Kabo, right? He spoke about a dog factory, a dog meat factory at his vetting. Listen to him. Listen to him. Just listen to him.
Mr. Chairman, you recall that when His Excellency the President announced the one district, one factory, our friends on the other side thought that it was just another political lie. We couldn't deliver upon it, and they poo-pooed the idea. But in a radio discussion analyzing the resource potential of many of the districts, I know that the Kintampo area has a lot of mangoes. And in the dry season or in the mango boom, the mangoes are always left to rot. And I think that if a government is coming with an initiative to establish a district factory, Kintampo could benefit. The same way, you know, Dagatis and Frafres are playmates. And Honorable Adongo and my friends will admit that the dog is a delicacy. And it's such a huge delicacy in Korea, in China, and it's an exportable product. Let's put all jokes aside. It's an exportable product. And I have lived in Bolga for so many years, and I know that there are dog hunters in Bolga who go around buying dogs and hunting for dogs. And it's a big delicacy, just like we could have a cat factory in the Volta region.
So that was Anthony Abeifa Kabo at his vetting. Serious parliamentary business. He had taken the oath. He knew what was happening, but he was talking about a dog and a cat factory, and that it was a big delicacy. Well, people chew it, dogus and pokus and all of that, katus, as people call it, in many different ways. But we thought that he was joking. So we went back to him after about a year, when he had the benefit of power. He was a deputy minister. He was wearing a black suit. I remember that interview very well. And then we asked him, and he said, oh, he still stands by what he said. In fact, we had even gone to the north. Nana Kwekwedia, a presidential correspondent, went to the north. We went to a whole place where, you know, dogs and the rest, and then we went to do a whole report from there. We don't have too much time, so I'm not able to play that for you. And he says he stands by that. Today, are we able to beat our chest to say we have a cat factory where he was talking about, or we have a dog factory where we're talking about, or we have the fruit factory where we're talking about? Please show me the map, right? At the height of the one district, one factory, there was a whole map that was put together detailing every single district in every single region in this country and telling us what natural resources they have and what factory we can set up there. And underneath they said, change is coming. Vote for change. Question I asked yesterday and I'm asking today, did the change come? Vote for change. Change is coming. Now look at it. You may not be able to read it out because it might be a bit pixelated. But this is real Ghana talk. One district, one factory. And under one district, one factory, we're told how we were going to transform every single district. So if you look at it closely, you have seen your district and then the resources that your district has in terms of natural resources. Remember that we're going to add value to it. We're going to produce, to give employment, to stop peri-urban migration and all of that. Now, this is the map. Your simple task for this morning is to tell me your district and also tell me if your district has a factory and which factory it is. Now, the bigger question I asked this morning, and I'll ask that question after you play this video for me. Let's go back to Pram Pram and Ningo. Let's go back.
Politics well ahead of the 2016 general elections, and this time we begin from the camp of the New Patriotic Party, and the presidential nominee of the NPP, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has assured the people of Ada and Ningo Pram Pram of vegetable, fruit and salt factories under the One District, One Factory project when voted into office.
Addressing chiefs and people of Adafo as part of his Greater Accra Regional Hope Tour, the NPP presidential candidate reiterated his resolve to create jobs to improve living conditions.
Nana Akufo-Addo told chiefs and traditional leaders at Ada he will build fruits, vegetable and salt factories to enhance growth in these sectors of the economy, since the area has the potential.
If we can reduce the creation of processing facilities in the Ada area.
We will start with the creation of processing facilities which will improve production of our farmers. That is why we are bringing the One District, One Factory initiative. The chiefs pledged their support and urged him to fulfill his promises when voted into office. The NPP presidential nominee then addressed mini rallies at Kisai and Tofloko. We will bring out policies to ensure every child is in school.
You have to be able to go to school to get a discipline and some standing. The only way you want have school be up to secondary school level to make it free.
At Ningo, the chiefs urged Nana Akufo-Addo to ensure peace before, during and after the elections. At a rally in Pampram, the NPP parliamentary candidate Sylvester Tete urged the people to reject the NDC and vote for the NPP to ensure development and job creation in the area.
And that was a rally. Ningo Pampram Adan, fruit factory, vegetable factory, and all of that. Ningo Pampram, do you have your fruit factory? Do you have your vegetable factory? Do you have your salt factory? It's the question I'm asking. And so far, the messages, if you go on and you're on the live stream, you see how many people are representing their districts and how many of them are telling you that they do not have factories. They may be telling lies, and that's why I'm urging my friends in government. And usually I know that people in opposition, people in government, civil society organization, other media personnel, all manner of persons watch Johnny's Bite. So it's a platform that we can correct ourselves, say, oh, you are telling lies. I mean, there's a factory here. You're telling lies. There's a factory in Odododio and all of that. Because the Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo said that critics of my campaign promises are being shamed. The president said the critics of his campaign promises are being shamed. Nanado, let's read the story. Critics of my campaign promises are being shamed. It was carried on City. Now, as a story by Ernest Ahimfo, October 7, 2021. That's the second term. Now, the president said this when he launched a shoe factory. The president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has taken a swipe at persons who doubted promises he made to Ghanaians during the build-up to the 2016 elections. According to him, such persons have been put to shame, right? Because he has largely fulfilled his promises. So this morning, I'm asking a simple question. One, the promise of 1D1F. And guess what? The 1D1F initiative, as was promised by the government, was supposed to be government putting up factories. Don't get it twisted. It was supposed to be government putting up factories right from scratch. It was not a concept of government partnering private people to put up factories. That concept of government partnering private people to put up factories came later, just as we were told that it was going to be gold for oil. Subsequently, we were told that it is gold and cash for oil. So the government has demonstrated over time that they'll tell you one thing for you to get your buy-in. Once you give them your buy-in, they will alter it and then tell you that this is the new direction we're going. One district, one factory will build factories from scratch. That's what the government says. Later, they got into power and it says, look, we'll do public-private partnership. And even that people have had concerns that, look, there are factories that we have known since TTT. Then you pick those old factories, you repaint them. Because I grew up in Abosoka, we have something we call paint maminto. 62 has an old car part. It is not properly functioning, but then we pick it and we polish it, we paint it, spray it, let it look nice, and then we present it to the people as if it's a new thing. The second concern that I want to raise this morning is that if indeed we have all the over 100 or so factories that the government always tells us that we have, what has been the impact of those factories on the lives of the people? What has been the impact of those factories on our economies? What has been the impact of those factories on our foreign exchange and import substitution? What has been the impact of those factories on our industrialization drive? It's a question that any economist will ask. I am not an economist. I'm asking from a common sense point of view. That you say you have factories and that the factories are supposed to represent, as I showed you the objective, are supposed to replace the items that we readily import, right? So now, for example, what has been the impact if you say you have a chocolate manufacturing factory? What has been the impact? How has it cut down our importation of chocolate? And how much has it saved us? And how is it serving the people? And are people choosing that over the imported chocolate? That's all I'm asking. If you promise the people that you're going to have a watermelon factory, for example, juice factory, have you started producing, or is it just the signboard that is there? And yesterday, when I put this on my Facebook page, people started showing me signboards that were there, how a pump and pageantry money was spent to do it. And then now the signboards are lying flat on the ground. Like the policeman said, your arguments are for flat. So this morning, I'm asking a simple question. Represent your district, even after this stream ends. Represent your district and tell me which factory your district has. If there's a factory there, maybe you want to tell me, because it's also supposed to create jobs. So you know a brother or a sister who is working there. It's not all about criticizing government. If government has put up a factory in your district, praise them. Nothing prevents you from praising your government. So tell me your district, and then the factory, and then what the factory produces, and how often they are produced. Because some of the factories have not started producing, like a Kumfi sugar factory. We have been given too many timelines that have gone past. In fact, the last one was supposed to be April 2022. After a failed one in 2021, we are still yet to produce any sugar from Commander Sugar Factory. Sorry, not a Kumfi, Commander Sugar Factory. And the other time I saw some people and asked them where a Kumfi juice is, because I developed a taste for it when it was Eku juice and all of that. So now the question is, on my dining table, I need to have the basic elements on my dining table being produced by factories here, so that in that way we don't spend money that we say we don't have to go and import those stuff, and then it will not weigh on our dollar. So this morning has a simple question. Where is your district? And where is your factory? If there's a factory in your district, applaud the government. If there's no factory in your district, you have a duty to remind the government that you promised to give me a factory in my district. Like the people of Ningo, Prampram, and Adan spoke to chiefs in most of the cases. Did the president deceive the chiefs? Did he hoodwink them? Have the factories started? Have we found land for them? Do we have monies for them? If we don't have, and we have not found partners for them as we want to say, what are we saying now? See something, say something, Nana. Good morning.